want to congratulate the Key High class of 2020 for their accomplishment as we celebrate their graduation. Dr. Crozier, Superintendent of Schools, will now address the class.
Welcome to the graduating class of Key High School 2020. You know, we are living in a very historical time, and a time that you and your grandchildren will be able to reflect on and talk about one day. This is a time for giving, a time for hope, a time for reflection, and also a time for action. The times you are now living in as graduating seniors will never leave you, and they will be an impression on you forever. The key thing to remember is that this is your hour, your time, and your place on the planet, and we are behind you all the way. I will say what I say almost every year because I believe it. Our seniors at Key High School are great, and they have everything to look forward to. A certain section of people in every generation always like to tell the new generation how much easier life was for them compared to the last. That you're not as tough or as strong or hardworking or resilient and all of that, but that's not the case. In fact, you are already proving to be very resilient. Every generation has its challenges, and you are meeting one of yours early on. The philosopher David Hume concluded that your firsthand experiences define how you construct your reality. Like putting your hand on a stove, or getting stung by a bee, or the smell of fresh cookies, or the knowledge of safety. And you will never forget those things. And they will always leave you with an impression that defines your reality. Obviously, the current reality right now is less than stellar, but that could be a growing point for all of you in the long haul. You seniors get the very unique gift of getting a huge dose of realism very early on. I don't know what that's going to mean, but I do know that you can do nothing with that, or you can use this forever, and it will help propel you forever as you go through good times and bad times, and as you move through the fragile gift of life and living. There are some other things. This is also the time of the longest senior skip day in history. I mean, you guys take the cake. There's nothing that they can do to you now because you guys did it all. You've one-upped every other class in the history of Key High School, and that's just how it is. Now, how many changes occurred in your lifetime? When you were born, Polaroid cameras were still the quickest way to get an instant picture. I mean, no one took our picture with a cell phone. Cell phones in 2002 were the size of pencil boxes, and they didn't do much. I remember the first time I saw a picture transferred to my computer, and that was in 2009. When you were born, a computer was a box in a lab, and there were no digital footprints or smartphones. Now we Zoom and teleconference, and we have virtual meetings, virtual choirs, and virtual news, and I have no idea about virtual dating, nor do I want to, and good luck with that. Also, how you learn has changed. All of the stuff we used to teach you, you can now just Google. You can now, that is an opportunity, because now you can use your freed up space in your brain to do other things than memorize phone numbers and dates like we had to. You can put this to creative use, and you can use your past generations as your shoulders to stand on, and you can use this crisis to reach a higher plateau than anyone ever has in any past generation. In my lifetime, I've watched a lot of change, and now you get to lead the change to a time beyond brick and mortar, and you will propel us into that new future. And I have great confidence that you will be able to do that. Before COVID, things that used to be important now are not that important. Things like how you looked, how your hair looked, which pair of jeans you were going to wear that day, what kind of ice cream you were going to get. Now, things that used to be quite inconsequential are suddenly important, like family, seeing and talking to your friends, seeing another person and helping them. Other things stay the same, and always stay the same because they are absolute truths regardless of your experience. Things like gratitude. We need to thank our teachers and principals, counselors, nurses. We need to do this K through 12, pre-K through 12, and coaches and directors of sports and fine arts and all activities. A thank you to all the non-teaching staff, the paraprofessionals, the cooks, the secretaries, the business office, custodians, and the bus drivers who helped get you there. Everybody had a part in this. A thank you to the parents and the guardians who cared for you. A thank you to the Key High community and the support they gave you. Don't forget the people who helped get you where you are now. And that's something that has not changed. Other things that have not changed are things like ethical integrity, hope, forgiveness. And sometimes it's okay to just be. It's in times like these, says the great philosophers who are still all living, commonly known as the rock group Foo Fighters, that we learn to live again and we learn to love again, time and time again. And I hope you take this time to learn and to stand on our shoulders like we stood on our previous generation's shoulders, and to give our earth a new start as we get over this mountain, and that you move out into the world with confidence. And I feel good about you leading us. Also, our plan is to do this again, live, at some point in the future. Some of you may not be able to make it then because we don't know when then will be, which is why we needed to do this virtually now, and I thank you for that. Best of luck to you. I certainly have a lot of confidence in you. I'm proud to be a part of it, and I wish the very best to the graduating class of 2020 Key High School. Thank you.
Elena Rawls, valedictorian of Key High School class of 2020, will now address the graduates.
Good afternoon, family, friends, faculty, and fellow 2020 graduates. I would like to thank everyone for taking the time to celebrate this special milestone in our lives with us today. I am honored to have the opportunity to speak on behalf of my class to commemorate the memories and accomplishments of our great class. In addition, I would like to wish a happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. I would not be where I am today, or the person I am, without the love and support from my mom, and I know many people can share that feeling. Today, we walk forth together, while remaining the CDC recommended 6 feet apart, into the real world. We never planned to end our high school days in such a way, and I wish we could all go back to March 13, the last day we stepped foot into Key High School as seniors, and appreciate the very short time we had left there. However, we, the class of 2020, have shown great resilience in these times, and I could not be more proud of us. We did it. Despite all the odds stacked against us, we have graduated high school. However, graduation is not an end goal itself. Instead, it is part of the larger journey of life. Our graduation should serve as our starting point, a beginning to where our futures are meant to take us. I have been thinking a lot about the future lately. What happens next? When will life return to the way it used to be? Where are we going to be in the future? I wish I had the answers to these questions, anything to stop my mind from wandering to worst-case scenarios. I wanted this speech to be memorable, but I think these circumstances are memorable enough to surpass anything I could ever write. Even so, I'm going to try my best to lighten the mood with some positive memories of the time we spent at Key High. Our class has not always been the best behaved bunch of kids. I know that is very hard to believe. It all started in middle school when we kept on getting in trouble for creating inappropriate games to play while walking down the hallway in between classes. I bet the parents remember the letter sent home about that situation. After a couple of assemblies with just our class, we were able to resolve this issue. As we continued through high school, we learned how to resolve our own issues. For example, during our junior year, a large portion of our class had a sports and games class together. I cannot remember what game we were playing exactly, probably dodgeball, but a huge argument broke out. It was eventually resolved with just a single quote by a fellow classmate of mine. The saying that kept our class together during hard times was, "We are a team, not hatred." and we definitely are a team. Over the years, we have accomplished so much together. We have succeeded in athletics with conference championships and even state championships. We have worked hard in the classrooms and managed to make it through the past 4 years. Our FFA has also found great success over the years. We should be proud of what we have accomplished in our short time in high school. I would also like to say that we were dodgeball champions and quad-ball champions during last homecoming, so the underclassmen have to step up next year. I could go on forever about the mark that we have left on this school, but I would like to start a new chapter in our lives instead. When we began our senior year, we were told that the year flies by, and I have never heard a truer statement. I will miss high school, but this graduation has already shown us how capable we all are of accomplishing our goals when we commit ourselves to them. I hope all of us here today can take this personal accomplishment as an example of how anything is possible when we put our minds to it. I wish we could have ended high school in a different way, but there is a different plan for us. A coach of mine once told me, control the controllables, and I realize now that this concept can be used off of the softball field. We cannot control what happens, but we can control how we react to it. Our class is strong, and I know that we can overcome anything. As we continue in our lives, let us take on each new problem with confidence, knowing that we have achieved great heights and are equipped with the necessary tools to tackle our futures. Thank you, Key High, for everything you have done for us. I will forever be proud to be a Key Hawk, and I will never again take for granted the people in the place I love the most.
At this time, we would like to pay special recognition to some of our students. Valedictorian, Elena Rolfs. Salutatorian, Rachel Walliser. For accepted membership in National Honor Society, Kyle Conway, Christina Dybert, Cade Rasquay, Elena Rolfs, Dawson Sayers, Ella Strong, and Rachel Walliser. For accepted membership in Quill and Scroll, Christina Dibert, Payson Ray, Evan Lentz, Madison Weimiller. Graduation honors are awarded to those who demonstrate academic excellence throughout their high school career. Those recognized for cum laude honors earned a cumulative grade point average of 3.0 to 3.29 and include Carly Rask, Jenna Brethwish, Joseph Snicker, Brooke Stanley, and Madison Weimiller. Those recognized for magna cum laude honors earned a cumulative grade point average of 3.30 to 3.69 and include Allison Donnelly, Evan Lenz, Madison Mathis, and Cade Raskway. Those recognized for summa cum laude honors earned a cumulative grade point average of 3.70 to 4.0 and include Laura Kelsch, Kyle Conway, Christina Dibert, Elena Rolfs, Dawson Sayers, Ella Strong, and Rachel Walliser. At this time, we'll now recognize all students receiving diplomas. Peter Paul Boland, Laura Ann Kelsch, Kyle James Conway, Christina Marie Dibert, Allison Ann Donnelly, Skylar Joseph Fahey, Braden Paul Gavin, Ethan Scott Hawes, Nell Margaret Hogan, Evan Reed Lenz, Theron Wyatt Maddox, Madison Grace Mathis, Cameron Donovan Olson, Michaela Emma Peters, Dylan James Peterson, McKenna Carleen Peterson, Carly May Rask, Cade William Raskway, Payson Thomas Ray, Jenna Ann Brethwish, Elena Louise Rolfs, Kinley Starr Schobert, Ryan Jonathan Schulte, Ashlyn Rebecca Seitz, Dallas Michael Sickles, Dawson James Sayers, Joseph Emmanuel Snicker, Brooke Ryan Stanley, Charles Frederick Stendel, Ella Catherine Strong, Benjamin Francis Trundle, Gracie Rose Vincent, Rachel Ann Walliser, Madison Marie Weimiller, Tyler Jeffrey Wild, Matthew Blake Wilson, Nathaniel Owen Winters. Key High Class of 2020, congratulations on your accomplishments.
For 18 years we've watched you grow, as proud as we can be. And crawling, walking, 1, 2, 3, and all your ABCs. Through the awkward years and intense debates, to a young adult became. Now you're faced with a pandemic that none of us have faced. To the class of 2020, our hearts go out to you. We can't begin to even know the heartache you've been through. You've run the race, you finished strong, even though it may not seem. So raise your heads and tip your caps and go and chase your dreams. We're all in this together, I've heard so many times. I know it may not seem that way, but it's more than just a line. We got your back, we're on your side. Hang in there, we'll get through. And when this all is over, you'll get your payment due. To the class of 2020, our hearts go out to you. We can't begin to even know the heartache you've been through. You've run the race, you finished strong, even though it may not seem. So raise your heads and tip your caps and go and chase your dreams. One thing's sure and one thing's right, not another class compares. Oh, class of 2020, oh, class of 2020, oh, class of 2020. Go and chase your dreams.